testing. As a automation test engineer, we need to understand some basics. We perform automation testing at the end of the day, but for automation test engineer also, we need some basics, right? As a part of that, first we will discuss software. What is a software, right? Software is a collection of computer programs, collection of computer programs collection of computer programs. Why this collection of computer programs is required? To perform certain task, right? To perform certain task or functionality, we need this software. Software is a collection of computer programs to perform certain task. These collection of computer programs are designed in such a way that it will perform certain task or functionality. Right? This is nothing but a software. How many types of softwares are available? We have different types of software, guys. Types of software. All right. Types of software. What are the different types of softwares available? We have system software, right? We have system software. We have programming software. We have application software, right? We have application software. These are three different types of softwares available. What the system software will do, this name itself says system software. They deal with systems. They deal with hardware. They deal with the platforms to provide for other softwares, right? So examples of the system softwares are device drivers, right? Device drivers, your device drivers like audio drivers, right? Some software drivers, these are all comes under system software. Operating systems, right? OS you can call them as. Servers, utilities, these are comes under system software. So what this mainly do? This mainly operates or manages computer hardware, right? Computer hardware they will manage. Computer hardware also they provide platform for other softwares. Platform for other softwares. These are system softwares. And coming to programming software, this name itself says programming. What is meant by programming? Who does this programming? Programming is also a code, computer code, right? With using any programming language, you will develop any programming software, right? So with the help of this programming software, developers, what these developers will do, developer will create, right? So we'll test and debug applications. Debug applications. With the help of these programming softwares, developers will test and debug applications. What are the different types of programming softwares which we have? We have compilers, is it right? Java is a compiler language. We have interpreters. We have debuggers. These are different types of programming softwares. With the help of these programming softwares, developers will create, test and debug software applications. We have compilers, right? Every line it will check, right? Interpreters. So line by line, it will check if there is any issue in that specific line, that program execution will be stopped. Similarly, we have also debuggers. Like this, we have other type of software, which is an application software. Application. Guys, every day you have been using these applications, is it right? We have mobile applications, we have desktop applications, we have web-based applications. These are different types of applications. Mobile applications, right? So what these mobile applications will do, these mobile applications specially designed for mobile devices, mobiles or tablets, is it right? These mobile application softwares are designed for mobiles or tablets, right? With the help of this, you can directly access your service without the use of any web-based applications or desktop applications also. Coming to desktop applications, these are standalone applications. Standalone applications. That means you no need any internet. You can work with them directly. Is it right? Microsoft Office, MS Excel, right? MS Word, MS PowerPoint. These are standalone softwares which you can install in your system and you can work with them directly. They no need any internet connection. But coming to these mobile applications, coming to these web-based applications, you need internet. Without internet, you can't work with these mobile or web-based applications. Coming to web applications, software accessed through a web browser. You have Chrome browser, you have Edge browser, you have Firefox browser, Safari, Opera. Like this, you have different types of browsers. Is it right? If the software accessed, if the software accessed through web browser, if the software is accessed through web browser, it is called as an web-based application. Any type of application it is. What they will do, they directly serves end users, right? So directly serves end users. End users. End users are also called as clients or customers. They directly serve end users or customers. Right? These are different types of softwares we have: system software, programming software, application software. Like this, let us see few more important points like a project, product, right? What is an error? What is a bug or defect? Very important points. Very important points, very basic points. What is a failure? Right? So what is a project? You hired for one of the company. Let me take a TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. On behalf of TCS, TCS will deploy you to another company, right? You will develop the software, you will test the software, you will debug the software to that require as per the requirements of that particular client. Is it right? That means software developed for a specific customer, right? For a specific customer based on their requirements. Based on their requirements, it is called as an project. But coming to product, there is a very huge difference between a project and a product, right? So what is a product? What is a project? Project means on behalf of one company, you will serve for another company to develop some software based on their requirements. Coming to product. So you will develop a software, but not for single customer, for multiple customers, right? So Gmail is not for a single customer, right? You can use, I can use, everybody can use. That means a software developed for multiple customers, where those customers are available in the market, right? So based on requirements in the market, it is called as an product. Very important point. Software developed for multiple customers, based on market requirements. Based on market requirements, it is called as an product. There is huge difference. Project is for a specific customer, product is for multiple customers, right? Specific customer, like you can think of banks, American bank, right? So in India, we have HDFC banks. HDFC banks, like ICICI banks, there are different types of banks available. You can think of like it is a customer. For a specific customer, based on their requirement, if you develop any software, that is a project. Coming to product for multiple customers, right? MS Office. Now you can access that through web also, right? Microsoft Office 365, with the help of that subscription, you can access multiple services, right? Software developed for multiple customers based on market requirements, right? In market, there are a lot of customers are available. For each and every customer, they will be having some requirements, right? So considering all the requirements in the market of containing these customers, if you develop any software, that is called as a product, right? What is an error? So human action, right? Human action that produces incorrect results. Incorrect results. It is called as an error. Any human action, because of that human action, if the system produces incorrect result, right, that is called as an error. What is a bug? What is a defect? Right. So when you are working on any software, once the product is released, right, into QA or into UAT environment, let it be on a high level, right, you will test that particular feature. Is it right? So during testing of that feature, you will expect something. right? But the system will behave in another way, which is an actual way, right? So the deviation between expected output to actual output, it is called as an bug or a defect. Any deviation between expected output to actual output is also called as a behavior, right? So there is certain behavior which that system should give you, which is nothing but an actual behavior. But if there is any deviation between actual behavior to expected behavior, it is nothing but a bug or a defect. What is a failure, right? You released the product into the market. Who uses that product? End user uses that product. Customer uses that product. Client uses that product. If any issue identified by customer during using that system, it is called as an failure. So deviation identified, right? Deviation identified by end user while using that product, it is called as an failure. Any deviation, any issue identified by end user while using that product, it is called as an failure, right? Recently we have seen CrowdStrike, Microsoft CrowdStrike. So it has been identified by most of the users. Those are called as failure. But meanwhile, before failure only, but they have not tested that very clearly. So it is a bug or a defect also, right? So these are very important points: project, product, error, right? Bug, failure, right? Every product will be having some bugs or failures. Who is responsible to identify them early stages? Automation test engineers. You can think of on a high level test engineers, right? So we need a software to make sure that it is a bug free and it does not meet any customer. It is not having any issues with the customer requirements. Is it right? So we need a software testing. We need software testing to make sure system is bug free, right? And meets customer requirements. Customer requirements. Every customer will be having some requirement. Developer will develop as per the requirements. But as a test engineer, as a manual tester, it's our responsibility, right, to make sure that there is no gap between what the developer has developed and what the customer is having some requirements, right? So to make sure that we need software testing. Also, to make sure that the system is a bug-free system or a defect-free system, we need this software testing. And one more important point, because of CrowdStrike issue, how many businesses got impacted? What is the reputation of this Microsoft at that particular point of time? So reputation is lost, as well as money, revenue is also lost, right? Lot of businesses has been affected. That means they have done some enhancements, or let it be some anything, and released that into the production environment. Once they released into production environment, because of some issue which they have not identified it at the early stages, that caused lot of business loss, right? Business revenue loss, right? Reputation loss also. So to make sure that there is no business loss after releasing the product to the production environment, we need software testing. Fixing the bugs after release is more expensive. Is it right? Again, you need to spend lot of time. Again, you need to spend lot of resources, right? Which is more expensive than identifying and resolving them at the earlier. If you resolve them at the earlier, if you identify those issues at the earlier, right, so that you can enhance your business, there is no business loss as well. So for these reasons, we need software testing. Then what is a software testing? The process of identifying defects. Is it right? What you will do, you will identify the defects, you will identify the bugs in the early stages only, not after releasing the product to the production environment. Is it right? So the process of identifying defects in a software to ensure quality, to ensure correct product, so bug-free product, before releasing it to the customer or clients, it is called as an software testing, right? It's a process of identifying defects. You will identify the defects in the early stages. So if you identify the defects at the early stages, you can give that software a non-issue software, a bug-free software, a correct software to the customer. So the customer will be satisfied. All right. So it's a process of identifying defects in a software at the early stages to ensure quality before releasing it to customers or clients. It is called as an software testing. Right? How you can perform this software testing? You can perform manually. You can perform by using automation tools. If you perform manually, it is nothing but manual testing. If you perform by using any automation tools, it is called as an automation testing, right? So if you see this diagram, you can understand. So during manual testing, a human tester is required. With the help of a test case consists of multiple steps. Is it right? Test case is a collection of test steps. Test suite is a collection of test cases. So with the help of a test steps in a test case, manual tester will execute this test steps on AUT. AUT means application under test. Very important terminology. In a testing industry, we'll call them as AUTs. Any application which you are going to test, it is called as an AUT, or application under test. Application under test. Very important point. So generally you call that as a web application, but it's a very good name, which is AUT, application under test. On AUT, a manual tester will perform these steps so that he can assess that functionality. So that means if you talk about this manual testing, so testing carried out, right? Testing carried out manually by a human tester without the use of automation tools. It is called as an manual testing. You will perform testing there, but with your intelligence. Human tester means he's a human, right? He uses his intelligence to assess that functionality. He will not use any automation tools. It is called as an manual testing. So manual test case consists of test steps. With the help of these test steps, right, you will execute these test steps on this AUT, application under test, one by one. It is nothing but manual execution, right? So what are the issues? What are the difficulties in performing manual testing? Yes, guys, for doing manual testing, you need to spend a lot of time. Is it right? We need to spend a lot of time. Manual testing is very, very slow. So lot of time is required. So lot of effort is also required. Is it right? So considerable human effort is required. So lot of effort is also required. Lot of time is also wasted. Also, as a human, we can make some errors, right? These are the challenges in manual testing. So lot of time, effort, and errors, right? These are the challenges in manual testing. That too, we have different types of manual testing, right? What are the different types? We have regression testing. Is it right? We have retesting. Retesting means testing the same functionality after defects have been fixed. It is called as an retesting. Retest. This name itself says you are testing some functionality. During testing of that functionality, you face some issue. You face some error. You identified some bug. What you have done? You have reported that bug to a specific developer. Developer has fixed that in that specific functionality. Again, you need to test the same functionality, whether that defect is resolved or not, right? It is called as an retesting. Testing the same functionality after defects have been fixed. It is called as an retesting, right? Coming to regression testing, right? Testing software to ensure new changes does not negatively affect after existing functionality. It is called as an regression testing. By this point, you will not understand anything. Let me make you understand by taking some simple application like Gmail application. What this Gmail consists of? This Gmail consists of different modules. Is it right? Inbox is one module. Sent items is one module. All right. Spam is also another module. Right? Different folders you can call them as. Gmail is a web application. It consists of lot of modules. I have taken only few modules here. Inbox, sent items, spam. Today, me testing this spam module, right? Some functionality I have been testing in the spam module. Is it right? So during testing, I found some issue in the spam module. There is a bug in the spam module. So what I have done, I have reported this to the developer. All right. So developer has fixed that bug. Right. After fixing, I will perform a retesting. All right. I will perform a retesting. Very good. You will perform a retesting to make sure that the bug is not exist in this spam module. Very good. Now, developer fixing means developer has made some changes to get rid of this bug. Any changes which the developer has done to this spam module should not affect sent items functionality or sent items module, should not affect inbox module or inbox functionality, right? To make sure that any changes, any new changes does not negatively affect existing functionalities. Is it right? Inbox is an existing functionality. Sent items is an existing functionality. Because of some changes in the spam module, these changes should not affect these existing functionalities. To make sure, we need this regression testing. Retesting, regression testing are very, very important in manual testing. They will consider a lot of time, lot of efforts. Also, as a human, we can make some mistakes, we can make some errors. So to get rid of these issues, to avoid these challenges, we'll go for automation testing. We'll go for automation testing. Now, what is an automation testing? Testing which you perform by using automation tools, it is called as an automation testing. With the help of automation tools, you will execute tests on AUT, right? To execute test on AUT, application under test. Is it right? With the help of an automation tool, you will execute that test on AUT, application under test, right? With the help of automation tool, how you can execute? You need two things here. One is automation tool, guys, very important. One is automation tool, and the other is programming language, right? Automation tool and programming language, very, very important. Automation tool. With the help of automation tool, it will execute test on AUT, application under test. Very good, right? To this automation tool, you need to give some instructions, right? Those instructions are given by using any of the programming language. So popular automation tool is Selenium in the market, right? To this Selenium tool, you need to provide some instructions, right? How you can provide some instructions? By using any of the programming language. It can be Python, it can be C#, it can be Ruby, it can be Java, it can be JavaScript also. Any type of programming language which you can use, right, to provide instructions to this automation tool. So combinedly, you will develop an automation script. Automation script, right? With the help of this automation script, with one single click, you can perform retesting, you can perform regression testing without any time, without any effort, without making some issues. Right? Testing that uses automation tools to execute test on AUT. It is called as an automation testing. For doing automation testing, we need automation tool. There are a lot of tools, but Selenium is a most popular tool. Right? Along with that, we need a programming language. Right? So we need these two things to develop an automation script so that we can execute this automation script on application under test, right? If you see here, so each test step inside test case is converted to an automation script with the help of Selenium and with the help of any programming language. And at the end of the day, you will execute this automation script on AUT. You can execute it locally, right? We'll be seeing every way of how you can execute automation script. You can execute it in locally, you can execute it in the remote machine. Generally, we call them as agent machines. Agent machines will be on remote servers, which are maintained by company or hosted in some cloud service, right? With the help of a Jenkins pipeline, you will take that script onto that agent machine. You will execute that script on the agent machines, right? We'll be discussing extensively that going ahead, right? So you will convert manual test cases to automation script, and with the help of automation tools and any programming language, you will execute this automation script on application under test. Right now, here the most popular automation tool is Selenium. Right, most popular automation tool. There are a lot of tools, but most popular automation tool is a Selenium. What is a Selenium? Very important. Selenium is a popular open source tool. Popular. It is not uh, the thing which not known by everybody. It is very popular. Lot of companies, almost 90% of the companies is using Selenium. Right, so it's the most popular and open source tool. You can see the source code also. So open source means you can see the source code. Open source tool for automating web applications. Very important. Very important interview question. Very important point. With the help of Selenium, you can only automate web applications. You cannot automate desktop applications. Very important point. In interview, they can ask you, with the help of Selenium, can you automate a desktop application? No, it is not possible. With the help of Selenium, you cannot automate a desktop applications. You can automate only web applications. Who developed this? Jason Huggins is a software engineer in 2004 at ThoughtWorks company. It's a consulting company, right? So in 2004, Jason Huggins have developed this particular software. Right, different types of tools are available. So if you go to official website of Selenium, right? Right. So this is what the official website. Right. You can see you have Selenium WebDriver. This is one tool. You have Selenium IDE. This is another tool. You have Selenium Grid. Right. Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, Selenium Grid. Right. These are different components. But at the very beginning, guys, you have Selenium RC also. Selenium remote control. But what they have done, they have merged this Selenium RC in the Selenium WebDriver. Right, at the very beginning, when Selenium came into the market, it came as a browser extension, Selenium ID. Next, RC WebDriver. So both RC and WebDriver, they are merged from Selenium 2 onwards. And right now, in the market, we have Selenium 4. Right. So if you see different components, right, IDE, right, you have Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. See, out of these components, Selenium WebDriver is the most popular tool. When we say Selenium, that does not mean only Selenium WebDriver. Selenium consists of multiple tools, collectively called as a Selenium suite. Selenium means a Selenium suite, not Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is one of the component in the Selenium suite. Very important. So Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. So when Selenium came into market, it first came as a Firefox and Chrome extension. With the help of this, we can create a relatively simple test cases, right? With the help of some actions on AUT, those actions are recorded in the background, right? So that will be given as a test case. You can create some simple test cases, relatively simple test cases with the help of this Selenium IDE, integrated development environment. At the very beginning, when Selenium came into market, it came. Next, if you want to develop any complex test cases, right, you need programming language and you need an automation tool, right? So which is a breakthrough is Selenium WebDriver. Breakthrough is Selenium WebDriver, a programming interface it is. Right, with the help of programming language, you'll create some complex test cases, right, and you can execute those automation script on the browser. Selenium WebDriver is the most popular tool which we'll be using. Almost 99% of the companies will not go for IDE and will not go for Grid. At the very end, they will go for Grid. But almost all the test cases, complex test cases, retesting, regression testing, end-to-end testing test cases are developed with the help of Selenium WebDriver. Right? So with the help of a Selenium Grid, what you will do, you'll perform execution of these automation scripts on multiple platforms. Is it right? Today, as a company, as a team, I developed a software. I am not sure that software is used by a particular customer or a client only in one platform. He can use that in Windows operating system. He can use that in Linux operating system. He can use that in Mac operating system. Also multiple browsers. Is it right? It can be Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, Internet Explorer. Like this, many browsers we have. Right? We are not sure where the customer or the client will be using those softwares. Right? You need to make sure it's our responsibility to make sure that the product or the software is working perfectly on all platforms, all browsers. That means you need to execute test cases on multiple platforms and multiple browsers. For that, we need this Selenium grid. So it allows running tests on different machines. Right? Different machines means different platforms. It can be Windows, Linux, or Mac. Different browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, etc. Different platforms. Right? Different platforms and different browsers to make sure that the product is working without any issue on all machines and all browsers. We need this Selenium grid. Right? This is what the official website, you can see it here. So we have Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, Selenium grid. So at last we'll also learn this Selenium grid. That almost 99% will code with the help of Selenium WebDriver. At last, we'll also discuss Selenium Grid and Docker. Right there, you will understand how you can use this Selenium Grid. Right. So this is what with respect to Selenium. Right. Every tool once developed will be having some advantages, will be having some disadvantages. Is it right? Every tool will be having. Not only this Selenium, every tool will be having some advantages. Every tool will be having some disadvantages. Right? What are the advantages of Selenium? Selenium is a free and open source. Right? You can go to this particular Selenium portal. Right? You can click on downloads. You can see it here. Different languages are available. Different browsers are also available. You can see the source code, how it is implemented. Right? If you go for this change log, right, you can see this is what navigating to GitHub. You can see the source code, how it is implemented. Right? So when you go here, so Selenium, click on Selenium. Right? You can see the source code when you click on this. Right? The source code you can see. Right? It's a free and open source. That means you can use it freely, no licensing cost. You don't need to pay any amount. But there are some tools like Tosca, Catalan Studio. They are licensed versions. You need to pay some amount after the trial version is ended. Right? Cross-platform and cross-browser compatibility. Right? You can work with multiple operating systems, not only one single operating system. Mostly we will use Windows operating system. Not only Windows, you can use Linux operating system. You can use Mac operating system. Right? So multiple browsers, it is compatible with it, any browsers, Chrome, Firefox, or Edge. So mostly we'll use these three browsers. So that is the reason I mentioned these three browsers here. Multiple languages support is available. It supports various programming languages. Is it right? It can support Java. If you see in this website, so these are the Selenium client libraries. Right? If you see here, you have .NET, support for .NET. So you have Ruby, right? So you have Java, you have Python, right? You have JavaScript. So multiple client libraries are available, right? So client library means language bindings. With the help of languages, any programming languages, you can develop an automation script with the help of this Selenium WebDriver. Right? You can integrate with the third-party tools also. Right? You can integrate the Selenium with Appium, right, for mobile application testing. So a lot of integrations are also available, right, for enhanced functionality. Right? You can enhance the functionality by integrating with third-party tools. Every tool, once developed, will be having some disadvantages. It is universally accepted. Whether we accept or you accept, that does not matter. So every tool will be having some advantages, will be having some disadvantages. Like that, Selenium is also having some disadvantages or limitations you can think of. Not disadvantages on a high level, it is limitations. Limited support for window-based applications. You cannot automate window-based applications, but to some extent, you need some additional tools. Selenium on its own cannot automate this window-based applications. You need additional tools like AutoEat, right? So SQL for image-based testing, robot API, so limited support for window-based applications. No native reporting. Once you execute any automation script, at the end of the day, you need to see the report. You need to send the report. You need to analyze the report. For that, you need report. Selenium cannot generate this report on its own. For that, you need to use PyTest framework or TestNG framework. So any frameworks you need to integrate so that Selenium can develop, can generate reports. You cannot handle Excel files, right? Selenium cannot handle Excel files. Why you need these Excel files here? The reason is at the end of the day, we'll perform data-driven testing. For performing data-driven testing, you'll specify the data in an Excel file or in a CSV file. So Selenium does not have any function or any feature to support this, to handle these Excel files directly. What we need to do, either we need to go for pandas, we can go for OpenPyXL. So we'll be discussing these two as well, right? We'll discuss OpenPyXL. We'll discuss if it is pandas also, right? To handle these Excel files for data-driven testing. Right, limited support for complex UI elements. That means like you have graphs, you have capture, you cannot automate this, right? So there is a limited support for these particular complex UI elements, right? Generally what we will do, we'll ask developers to shut down this on lower environments. It can be UAT, it can be right, it can be QA environment. We'll ask developers to remove this functionality. Only in the production we require this, but in the lower environments we'll ask developers to remove this. So there is limited support for complex UI elements, right? So if you see the Selenium versions, so if you go to this official website, you can see right now the latest version with Selenium, when you use Python programming language, is 4.27.1. This is what the latest version. So recently only it has released, right, November 26, 2024. But for other programming languages, you can see it is 4.27.0. And Python is extensively used, guys. So coming days are AML days, artificial intelligence and machine learning days. There extensively Python is used. Right, there are some projects on which Java is also existed, but nowadays every company is adapting to Python. Right, we'll be discussing Python extensively. Right, so the latest version when you use Python programming language is 4.27.1. All right, so if you see the versions of Selenium versions. Right, so at the very beginning we have Selenium 1.x. Right, so it can be 1.0, 1.1, let it be. So at the very beginning it is IDE, RC and Grid. Right, only support for Firefox browser. In the Selenium 2 they have included Firefox WebDriver and Grid. Right, so Selenium RC merged with Selenium WebDriver, you have only WebDriver from Selenium 2 onwards. From Selenium 3 they have included support for Chrome also. Right, so coming to 4, they have included support for Edge also. Right now in the market we have 4.27.1. Right, these are the basics of software testing. We already know this, but we need to have some more time to learn these new things. Right, so what is software, product, project, right? How you can perform software testing, advantages of Selenium, disadvantages of Selenium. Right, once we complete this, what are the different things which you will be getting as a part of this course? This course duration is 3 months with 5 sessions per week, Monday to Friday. It can be India, it can be other regions. If it is India, 7 a.m. IST. If it is other regions like 5:30 p.m. PST, right, 7:30 p.m. CST, 8:30 p.m. EST, 6:30 p.m. MST. These are the different timings for other regions. This course is 3 months with 5 sessions per week. Right, what are the topics are covered here? Right, we will cover Python. 4 to 5 weeks of Python programming language is extensively covered. With the help of this knowledge of Python, not only in automation testing, if you want to go for a data related jobs also, data analysis, big data, with the help of this programming, Python programming, which you are learning in this course, it will help a lot, not only in automation testing. So keeping that in view, So we have developed that curriculum. So accordingly, you will learn. So WebDriver we will be learning. We will use how to write an automation script with the help of Selenium WebDriver. PyTest framework is extensively covered, starting from fixtures to parameterization. Right, we'll use Selenium Grid. Right, we'll use Docker also. Once we discuss a Selenium Grid, we'll learn this Docker as well. We'll focus on hybrid and PyTest frameworks, right? Hybrid driven framework. There are a lot of frameworks, but almost all the companies in the industry will use hybrid framework. That we'll be discussing. Right? Continuous integration tools we'll be discussing, Git, GitHub, Jenkins also. At last, we will get resume preparation guidance, interview questions, and if it is required, we'll also conduct these mock interviews. Right? So for different interviews, they'll be having some different requirements. In the courseware folder, you can see all those additional resources which you can target for product based companies also. Right, you can see the course contents, and these are with respect to